Welcome to the Boston Art Podcast,
Boston's premier art podcast,
where we talk art, culture, and philosophy.
My name is Theodore Earthworms.
And I am Brian Huntress.
Welcome to the show.
The Turmeric House. So I'm gonna open with something. You want to hear about something absolutely fucking disgusting that I saw recently?
Oh God, okay.
Well, it isn't actually that disgusting. I'm kind of hyping it up a little bit. But it was just fucking weird. I've never seen anyone do this.
This isn't real life?
This was real life.
Okay.
I was at a grocery store, and there was an old lady. You know how you can buy bags of cherries?
Yeah.
And they're like, it's like at the fresh fruit produce, whatever. There was a fucking old lady opening up every single bag of cherries and taking all of the good cherries that she liked out of every bag and putting them into the bag of cherries that she was buying. Like, she was just taking all the gross cherries out of the bag she had and opening every bag and going through them and just filling up her bag with the best looking cherries. Can you imagine fucking doing that?
That's something that would like not even occur to me to do.
Yeah, but I was just looking at this person doing it. I'm like, so that means almost every single fucking bag that's at the top, at least, of this giant box of bags of cherries has been handled and examined and breathed on and touched by this fucking lady.
Every individual cherry.
She contaminated like 18 fucking bags of cherries.
Well, they're probably contaminated anyway. I guess that's
with like Roundup and fucking poison and microplastics.
And all of the people who had to like pick them and transport them and stock them and whatever, like, it is a good reminder to wash your produce, but it's still gross.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's true, because it's not like, you know, like the farmer and then the employees of the farmer and the truck driver. You know, that's true. They are being touched probably to a degree by any number of people.
Employees in the grocery store. When I worked in a grocery store, sometimes the produce would open. You just put it back in the bag.
Yeah, that's true. Or in the bags that you personally fill up, sometimes it just falls out onto the floor off of your carriage.
Yeah.
Grocery stores, man, there's just too much stuff in them. What do you think of that?
Like too many products?
There's too many products in them.
I agree with that. I don't like how many options there are. I think life would be easier if there was just like one kind of mustard.
Hey, I have a suggestion.
Okay.
So we're going to Iceland.
I thought we weren't going to say that.
I changed my mind.
Specifically said for like, you were doing a little mini rant for like 45 seconds about how you don't want to say that.
I changed my mind about that.
Okay.
I say let's not try to record 2 episodes for our vacation.
Oh, record one and go on hiatus?
Yeah, let's just take a week off. Let's just put this one out tomorrow.
Okay.
Also, yeah, a little bit of housekeeping. I feel a little bit bad for our longtime listeners and people who consistently tune in every week.
Because we keep fucking off and taking hiatuses?
Well, no, for the past 2 or 3 weeks, or maybe 2, we just didn't put an episode out on Friday and then like put it out on a Saturday or like a Monday or something stupid like that. And I just want to let everybody know that we're still committed to our Friday weekly thing, and we're not trying to mess up your routine or ours. Like, I feel like...
Well, longtime listeners will know about all of the mental breakdowns we had about the weekly Friday release.
That's true.
So...
But I just think it's important in a spiritual sense that if your audience thinks that you don't care about the schedule, why should they care about listening and checking for new episodes?
That's fair.
Is that fair? I don't know.
I don't think that it's... Yeah, I don't think it's something that we've forgotten about. We're definitely still doing that. But I also don't think that... I think we're still in the green zone. Like, you know that... Green. Have you ever seen, I think this is one of those things that, like, you know how sometimes you have things that you just think about that are completely irrelevant, but they're in your rotation of, like, thoughts every day?
Yeah.
There was a text post, like, 10 years ago that I saw on, like, early Instagram that was, like... If you're early, that's good. If you're on time, that's cutting it close, but it's okay. If you're 5 minutes late, it's like, oh, like, sorry, blah, blah, blah. If you're 10 minutes late, that's, like, super embarrassing and you should very apologize. And if you're more than 20 minutes late, you should just kill yourself.
Oh. Just don't show up.
Yeah, and I feel like we're in, like, the 5 minutes late range of episode releasing.
Okay, that's fair enough.
Like, sorry. But also, don't be mad at me. Like, if you're mad, it's a little inappropriate. But also, I won't do it again. And if it was 6 minutes, I would be pushing it.
Yeah, that's definitely true for any minor social faux pas, that there is a unspoken grace period for every single one of them. Like, it's like, it would be like if you showed up to work and you just smelled terrible. The first time, everybody is going to give you a break. They're going to be like, sometimes people just fuck that up.
Yeah.
And everyone's going to be cool about it. But if you did that more than once, or 3 or 4, like, you'd be
the smelly guy.
You might even get fired. Like,
Yeah.
you're really in disaster mode if that's your situation.
This is interesting. This is an interesting bit. I know that we kind of really plowed right over whatever you were about to say.
I don't remember what I was going to say. I probably wasn't going to say anything.
I think that you were about to start a point, and then we started riffing this bit. Can I keep riffing it?
Riff it.
Okay.
Riff it up.
What other social faux pas are there that you could do, and what's the acceptable range? Like, how far can you toe the line?
I'll be there with you.
Okay. We're in a drive-through. Okay, you want to hear...
Podcasting in a drive-through?
Okay,
How
no.
far is the line?
You want to hear one of the weirdest things you can ever do that I've been thinking about for the past few months?
Okay.
I was thinking about making a TikTok.
Months?
Yes, I've been thinking about this a lot because I really want to make a video that's like top 5 most awkward. Oh, hold on. All right, let's order. What do you want, Theo?
Oh my god.
You have to order. Sorry, we're just looking.
A 2A meal, 2A.
Oh,
Take
can
your
I
time.
actually?
Let me know when you're ready.
Actually, I can order right now. Sorry.
No, you gotta take your time.
Okay. Can I get a 2A meal?
Sure, I mean, in a large.
Medium, please.
Sure, and a drink.
Coke, please.
Is that gonna be it?
That's all? Yeah, that's all. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. It's gonna be 11:12. Drive up to the first window.
Great. Thank you.
That was one of the nicest.
That was so awkward.
But they were so pleasant. That was so nice.
That was a very pleasant person. That much is true. Oh, I forgot your card on the nightstand.
Oh, I have it.
Oh.
I saw it and I picked it up.
Hi, how are you?
Hi. Oh, this is riveting stuff for the listeners.
Are you gonna edit this out?
Honestly, probably not. Just, I don't know. I don't really care like that. Thank you. Doing a little bit of kazooing. All right, here's your card. Stop kazooing. Stop kazooing.
Why?
You're done. You're done. I'm sorry. Okay, let me tell you. So this is the weirdest fucking thing you can ever do.
Okay.
Kissing a pet's head while another person is holding your pet. Like, if somebody's holding a cat or a little dog and you pet it and then kiss the dog's head while the person's holding it, super weird.
You've been thinking about that for months? That's a very normal thing to do.
No, I'm just saying, like, what if your friend was holding your cat or something, or like...
That's so normal.
And then you lean in, like, because you get so close to the person holding it and you, like, give a...
Is this like a rule for boys?
No, I just think anybody, any
No,
gender,
I don't
all
think so.
genders.
I think that, okay, imagine, like, me and Kelly are hanging out and she's holding her cat. Or the
And
cat
I
she was babysitting.
imagine, okay, Kelly's
and then
holding...
I go over and I kiss Moody on the head and I'm like, cute little cat.
Actually weird as fuck.
Not weird.
Absolutely weird.
Completely normal.
I just think it's weird because somebody, like, if somebody is holding an animal, that animal is in their personal bubble.
I think he's trying to talk to you if you open the window.
I don't think so. What's up? Oh, no, he said that. Like, definitely not trying to talk. I knew that, but I listened to you anyway.
Sorry.
It was just actually awkward eye contact that he initiated.
And then he laughed, so it was fine.
Yeah, that guy just accidentally did that.
He opened the drive-up window and looked at you.
Yeah.
I guess he was just getting ready for the next person.
He was prepping. Anyway.
I'm glad he laughed too. That would.
But yeah, no, if somebody's holding a pet, that pet is now a part of their person. And if you start...
You're crazy.
Like, I just think if somebody's holding an animal, you shouldn't touch the animal because you're kind of getting into that person's bubble. If it's like...
I think that's
If it's
true.
like, if you were holding like Milo, and that would be fine because we have that relationship. But if it's somebody that you don't have a physical contact relationship with, you shouldn't do that.
This is why... Well, yes, obviously. But this is why I asked if it's a boy thing. Because I think that most of my friends would be fine with me giving them a hug or like putting my head on their shoulder or something. So like going up and like kissing a cat that someone's holding, completely fucking normal.
I think it's kind of weird to do
I could
that.
probably kiss most of my friends on the head with no explanation and not even telling them I was going to do it.
I think I definitely have a good amount of friends I could kiss on the head.
So if they were holding a cat, that would be weird. You could kiss them on the head, but you couldn't kiss a cat they were holding?
I don't know, man. I just think
months, Brian?
Well, no, I've been thinking about it for months because I was thinking about it actually more so with babies, but then I was like, this totally makes sense for pets too. Because if someone's holding a baby and you like, you know, because people kiss babies on the head and hold them and give them hugs and stuff. If you try to kiss a baby on the head while somebody else is holding it, that's also weird as shit.
So I have a hot take about babies.
Okay.
I feel very weird showing like love for a baby, because you would look, even if it wasn't anything where it's like, oh, it's completely normal that you love this baby. Imagine if you were like, oh my god, I love him, and gave him a little kiss on the head, and then somebody was like, what the fuck? You would instantly look like the biggest weirdo in the world.
Okay, now you're a weirdo.
Why? You like, just like, I'm talking about like kissing a little baby on the head.
Okay, completely normal. What the fuck would be wrong with that?
Well, it depends on the baby. Depends who the baby is.
Well, it depends on whose baby it is.
Yes.
Because there are some people, like okay, now we're entering, all right, here's an obvious statement.
Don't kiss a random baby?
Obviously, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't kiss a baby at all, unless it's your family.
How do you know when you're in? How do you know when it's okay for you to kiss that baby? Because, like, for example...
I think if it's a family member, or...
What if you're dating someone and there's a new baby all of a sudden?
It depends on how close you are with the parent.
Exactly, that's the question.
Yeah, but that's really easy to determine.
What if you're the weird family member's girlfriend that just keeps kissing the baby and you don't know?
I don't think that you are... I think you're not worried about how to interact with a baby. I think you're worried about looking like a weirdo interloping girlfriend at a family party, which is valid because I worry about being a weirdo boyfriend at your family parties. I think you're having
We've been dating for 4 years.
So what? I still don't want to look bad or weird or awkward or offensive in front of your family. Thank you so much. Have a good night.
I might have been talking about Reed. It's over now.
Well, he's the only baby that we fucking know. Well, except for another family member of mine, but
Who also has a baby?
She has an infant, but we don't see that baby even close to us. Reed is like he's like an everyday guy.
Yeah, I feel like it's... I don't know. He's a little too old for me to just kiss him on the head all the time. Like, I feel like that would be...
I do. I love him. He's my buddy.
I love him too. I give him little hugs, but whenever I try to like give him a snuggle, he like pushes me off now. He's too big.
It's so funny that he does that. Yeah, what a sweet little guy.
But he is, he's a baby that I feel like it's okay for me to be like, oh, I love him so much. But like, any other baby I know would probably be weird if I kissed them on the head.
Right.
Especially if someone was holding them.
Okay, so I don't understand why. So what if somebody you didn't know super well, like, okay, we're at a family party, and one of my cousins is holding a cat. Is it appropriate for you to go up and be like, oh, little kitty, and kiss the cat on the head while that person's holding the cat? That's fucking weird. If it's a friend or family member or partner, totally normal, everybody does that. But if it's somebody that you're not like super tight with, like, am I wrong? Am I crazy?
No, you're right. I think the flaw in your example was using the example of a friend holding the cat.
Okay, all right, I'll accept that. So, yeah, if it's somebody like your fucking girlfriend or your best friend or your sibling or roommate that you see every day, that makes sense. But if it's like, all right, let's move on to another one. We've rode this one into the ground.
Another weird situation.
I just thought of one randomly that is like really common, and people have been talking about this for millennia. I'm too hot.
Well,
close the vents on your side.
You said put on a sweater.
Put on a fucking sweater. This is like one that's like so overdone, but is like true. But going to an event or a party or something, and being wicked socially awkward, but playing with the dog the whole time.
That's a no?
What do you think about that? Yeah, I feel like that's weird.
This is a controversial response to that, but I don't really like most dogs. I have to know the dog personally.
Okay, so maybe it's not a dog. Maybe it's the pet.
Okay.
Just spending the entire party with the pet and not interacting with people really at all and not really jumping into the vibe or the bit or the conversation. You're just kind of awkwardly playing with the pet the whole time.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Like, if I saw someone doing that, I wouldn't think that they were, like, a sick fuck, but it isn't the most pro-social way to handle it.
You sick fuck!
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be the best way to navigate a party, but I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with it. Like, anytime that I've seen somebody do that, or actually, I guess I'm not really the type to do that, but there have been some situations where I have when I was just, like, happened to be miserable and at a party. I would just, like, hang out with a cat or something the whole time. Or find one person that I like, and then just sit with them the whole time instead of socializing. It just tells me that that person is feeling uncomfortable, or that they're not very, like, social.
Yeah, you know what's, like, the realest thing ever, too? I feel like I've seen people say this online, which is, like, that conversation is always flipped on the awkward person, where they're like, oh, like, why don't you just talk to everybody? Like, why are you so quiet? Like, blah, blah, blah. But, like, there's, like, the unspoken thing that, like, sometimes people aren't talking around the person that they're hanging out with because those people just fucking suck.
Yeah.
Like, they're just trash people, or it sucks to hang out with them.
Yeah.
Or they're making them uncomfortable, and that's why they're doing that, so...
It's also true, too,
There's
that,
many
like,
layers to this.
there are also some people, like, I feel like I'm like this, where if I'm in a context where I don't know everybody or I'm not totally comfortable or whatever, I get pretty quiet, but it's not because I'm shy or I'm not, like, pro-social, it's because I'm observing. Like, sometimes I'll go, like, 10 minutes at a party and realize I've barely talked or just gone, like, oh, haha, the whole time.
You gotta get the rhythm first, you know? Because, like, what, you know, you gotta figure out what type of especially if it's a small group, you know, or a smallish group, like, you gotta, like, figure out what everyone's doing, like, especially if you're somebody more, like, humorous, like, you want, you're like the you socialize and bond with people through jokes. I don't know how to read the room. I don't make any jokes until I have figured out what type of people I'm hanging out with, because you know, you never know. There's some people that, like, cannot vibe with most jokes with most of them. They need them to be really fucking.
This is the thing I was going to say, though. I feel like I've had people interpret me as shy because of that, and I always find it really insulting when they do, especially if they make a thing of it in front of other people. So it's like, I'm not fucking shy, I just didn't feel like speaking. Like, maybe you could be more proactive and have an interesting conversation that I could join into, but there was nothing to say, you know? That's true. Sometimes people aren't shy, they're just not engaged.
Or what about the comment that is like a joke that everyone on planet Earth has made? Or like, it's like a zeitgeisted joke, but when someone's being quiet, you say, bro, you like, stop fucking talking so much, like, you were being so fucking loud right now, ha 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 ha.
Yeah.
And it's a way of pointing out that someone's being really quiet and, like, they feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I think that the only one who's doing a social faux pas in that situation is the person that's making fun of the shy person or the quiet person. That's true. That's something that reminds me of something that I feel like I've really had to adjust in my life, actually specifically because of Reed, because I don't want to. I've been, like, I try to be really conscious of how I'm interacting with him, because, you know, I have so many memories of being a child and, like, having, like, you know, not, like, uncomfortable experiences with adults necessarily, but just feeling like the adults were, like, wicked fucking mean to me. Yeah. Or, like, thought I was an idiot or were laughing at me. Yeah. And you know what I realized about that is that my comedic or humorous or rapport building or horseplay, like, just fucking around and hanging out with people, my first instinct is teasing. Like, fucking with people, or, like, messing, or, like, talk, a little bit of shit talk, a little bit of, like, chirp, like, a little, you know, just, like, fun. That's just, like, I don't fucking know why. That's just, like, the rapport I've had with my family or with friends. And that, I think that many memories I have of adults being mean to me or laughing at me was probably that. Was adults just messing with me or teasing me or, like,
And, you know, because when you do that to your friends, it's just like, ah, ha, ha, you fucking piece of shit, ah, ha. Like, it's like a funny thing.
Yeah.
But kids don't know that. They're fucking, you know, they don't know. They don't have any social context at all.
I think kids also sometimes, like adults don't realize sometimes that they are laughing at a kid for being a kid, but the kid knows that they're doing it and doesn't understand what's funny. Like, maybe you said something that was, like, really silly or adorable, but you didn't know that because you were a kid and you were just saying something you felt was true, and then everyone started laughing at you. I have memories like that from being a kid. Not like a ton of them, but I don't know. I remember feeling frustrated because I didn't feel like I was being taken seriously.
Right.
I also had extreme anxiety about that as a kid, though. I found a journal entry. I think I've told you about this before.
Oh, yeah?
But I found a journal entry where I wrote in my diary that I was psychic and I'd been having nightmares that there was a hurricane that was coming to wipe out the East Coast, and Massachusetts would be underwater within 5 years, and nobody would believe me because I was a kid.
You probably, like, watched, like, an Al Gore, like fucking global warming political campaign commercial, and it, like, gave you nightmares.
Probably. My mom was telling me the ozone layer was falling apart and I was gonna die.
Yeah, she probably, that is literally Al Gore's, like, peak notoriety time, is the time you're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
It's probably definitely what happened, actually.
Fucking Al Gore. Didn't help anyone, gave everyone nightmares.
Wasn't he, like, right, though? And then they fixed it?
Well, he was, like, a very early climate change public person.
He was literally right.
Yeah, I'm just fucking around.
Fuck you, Al Gore.
Fucking piece of shit. You traumatized all of us children of the world, of the early 2000s. Yeah, man.
What else could you totally fuck up?
What else could you totally fuck up?
What would be, okay. What is the loudest thing that you could do that would be socially appropriate at the RMV?
The loudest thing you could do that would be that would not get you kicked out or offend anybody?
I think maybe screaming when you got your license.
Oh, like cheering, like I'm so happy and I'm a kid that just got their license?
Maybe. Yeah,
that probably happens often at the RMV. I was gonna say something easy, coughing really loud. Like you're like horrible, like death coughing, like in the waiting room.
Still, I've like been very angry hearing people do that in waiting rooms sometimes.
Okay, how about I feel like a better question
That's
is,
like mean,
what's the loudest thing you can do in the RMV without being escorted out by like the police, the cop that's in there?
Okay. And we are specifically talking about loudest, like noise.
Yeah, I get. You know what this kind of reminds me of is a thing that I made up in my head that has never happened in real life.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? Well, actually, let me ask you what you think of this. Ready?
Yeah.
What do you think of people that are completely comfortable yelling to you, like, "Hey, yo, like, what kind of drink did you want?" Like that kind of thing from across a room, but in complete public setting.
Absolutely,
like,
the fuck not.
Like you're over in a corner booth at like a fast food place, and I'm at the drink machine, and then I scream across the restaurant, "Hey, what did you want diet?" Like, is that? Do you think that?
No.
Because it's not illegal. There's like nothing wrong with that, really. It's a small. You could just like shout over to someone.
That's such a
what
funny
did you want?
thing too. I'm just thinking about that, and I feel like that's one of those things where, I feel like we've talked about this before, ways that your family and my family are different, like us included in that. Yeah. And I think that that's something that you could do that would give every single person in my entire family an aneurysm and make them hate you. But there's not really anything technically wrong with it. The only person who might do that is my grandmother. She does stuff like that.
That's definitely an old person thing to do.
No, she's always done that, I think.
Okay,
that's just
gotcha.
that's just a genie thing to do.
That's a genie thing to do. Yeah, that's definitely. I could see pretty much everybody in my family. I could see literally any member of my family doing what I just described.
I cannot wait for the day that our families are in the same room, because it's going to be fucking hysterical. It's going to be really stressful for me specifically, but it'll be really funny.
Yeah. You know, I think, not to get into too like dark, not into the dark stuff, but I don't think there's any member of my family that is like a real like hazard wild card. Yeah. Like they would do something bad or ruin something. I don't think there's a single one that would go to any kind of like thing
Yeah.
like Christmas or you know, like pretty much everybody, which is unfortunate, obviously, because I think it's sad that whatever, no, but like, you know, whatever to all that, but like I don't think there isn't really that many, like I think I'm pretty grateful for that, because like pretty much everybody is like, oh, like we all have to go see fucking like maybe someone has like a fucking evil grandparent that just ruins every fucking thing that they go to.
Yeah.
Like, fortunately, you know, I don't think either of us really have that kind of vibe.
I don't think so. My family always has like something going on. Like there's always some kind of like hubbub, but
that's a good word for it, hubbub.
Yeah, it's like drama isn't the right word, because that makes it sound really like.
That's so true. Yeah, it kind of reminds me. Did you see that TikTok where someone was saying, like, it's one thing to be involved with somebody, but it's another thing to be in cahoots with them? Like, being in cahoots, that's dope.
Fun.
Like, you're in the pocket. Like, that's awesome.
Yeah.
But when you're, like, associated with somebody.
It sounds serious.
You know, like, I don't know.
Serious
like,
in a not fun
like,
way.
oh, like, I know that guy. Like, no. Like, or, oh, we're kind of friends.
Yeah.
But cahoots is, like, you're really tight with that person.
Yeah.
You're getting up to some shit.
Yeah.
You're the only person I've been day-to-day in cahoots with for a long time.
Same.
Yeah. I think it's because I used to have, like... It's so funny. Like, maybe this is, like, you probably relate to this on a pre-pandemic basis, but, like... It's so funny. Like, I used to be in cahoots with and getting up to shit with friends.
Yeah.
Every day. Like, at least 5 days a week.
I miss that.
Like, it's such a different life to me now that when I'm like, I got no responsibilities going on, like there's not like no appointments, no work, nothing, and I'm just getting up and doing only stuff that I like, you know, I'm like working on this, I'm working on stuff.
Yeah.
There used to be a time where I would wake up on those days and I'd be like, all right, where is everybody?
Yeah.
Like, let's link up. Like, what are we doing? Like, we'll hit up, you know what I mean? Like, all right, like, where are we going? What are we working on?
Yeah.
Who's picking up who? That's like completely never coming back, probably, which is, you know, kind of sad, but it kind of makes me wonder if that's more of a youthful life, like that's like what, you know, that's like a younger person thing to do.
That might be part of it. I think that there are also people that still do that, but I also think that that might be a facet of like adulthood under capitalism. Because whenever I have a free day, unless I scheduled something with my friends and I actually am doing something with them on purpose, I'm usually doing like chores or homework or going to see family. Or I'm in cahoots with you.
In cahoots.
The other thing though too, actually, if I expand on that though, like, I think that what's different is that I'm not linking up with a group of friends every single day because of work and like family stuff or whatever, but I still think that I do stuff with friends, and I think I am in cahoots with friends, but it just is not daily. It's like every other weekend or something, maybe. And it also depends who you're counting. Like, am I in cahoots with my brothers, or are we just like...
Yeah. Well, it depends what
count?
kind of relationship you have with them. I feel like cahoots is positive mischief.
Yeah, I feel like I'm in cahoots with them.
With Noah, definitely. Yeah, Noah and Emmy both, yeah.
Emmy, when we see each other, we have very different
approaches.
Antics and approaches.
Different antics, that's a good...
But when we overlap, like when all three of us are in the room, absolutely cahoots. But we're just not often in the same room all the time.
We're cahooting and hollering.
Ew. Yeah.
Oh, shit. That's life.
Yeah, I think the only reason that it was with so many people before is because nobody was really working on anything long term. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe not so much with an art center.
You know what's so funny is, like, me and, like, you know, the old Puzzle Factory and Chess Company days, like, you know, where there's 4 or 5 of us that were with each other daily. Oh, it's a billboard creepily blinking.
It says, "It's your time" on it.
It's your time. That's pretty... You know what?
Terrifying.
Yeah, we can touch back on billboards in a second, but it's so funny because none of us were on drugs or drinking really at all. We were all very, like, you know, just very regular people in that sense.
Yeah.
But literally, like, we were all like very like serious artists and musicians, and everyone's like planning these like big things, like this is gonna be big, like I'm really doing, but literally like all of us were just having the dumbest, shittiest, like most useless ideas so often, like then none of them ever worked. Like every project failed, and every show we had like pretty much only had like 20 to 30 people max at like a really good one, and none of our content or music ever reached outside of our social circle. Like we were like the sober equivalent of like people just like sitting in a room just like ripping a bong, just like, yo, what if we fucking put a rock on like a huge balloon?
Yeah.
So the balloon carried the rock around, and we did a video of it.
That's fun though.
Like that was pretty much it. It's like it's funny because I wouldn't trade any of those memories or those times. Like that was all awesome, and it makes me sad that isn't like the vibe anymore. But it really was so unbelievably counterproductive for so much time.
I think that's being young. I used to do shit like that with my friends too. That was like very worth it for the vibes, but I couldn't corral a group of people to do that now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which kind of pisses me off. Like, I kind of wish that I had more friends that were just, like, fuck it people. I do have some friends that are fuck it people, but they're not fuck it for no reason. It's like, they'll do something crazy if it's coordinated, and they're willing to coordinate it, but that means that it needs to be, like, scheduled. You know what I mean? Like, it has more flow, which is ultimately a good thing, and that's why those people are in my life long term. But I do miss the idiocy of being younger.
Yeah, like, you know what is something that belongs to the young?
What?
That makes a lot of magic happen, that like only some older folks are willing to do something like this.
Are we older folks?
I would put myself and you in the category of older folks these days. For this specific point that I'm about to make, yes. But I think something that only a young person can do is operate with absolutely zero awareness or self-preservation in terms of reputation. Like, they will post anything. They will say anything on camera, anything on stage, anything on a record. Like, they're just, like, crazy enough and dumb enough because you're young and you're not thinking about the future, how people perceive you, or what job you might want to get in the future, and now you've ruined it because of your digital footprint. Like, so that's how most young people are online, and that sucks for a lot of people who might be suffering from the consequences of that thing, those types of things. But so much fucking amazing art and funny shit comes out of that kind of behavior.
Yeah.
What do you think of that? You seem like you have some critical thoughts.
I think that it is very common to be like that online, but I do not think it's most people.
Well, I don't think it's most people. I was saying that, like, most older people, or people with careers, or people who have maybe, I don't know, they've been around the block a little bit. Yeah, like I just like threw a rock into the street. Most people who have been around the block a little bit wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
No, I agree with your point. I just think that the people that do that are kind of more amplified, but I don't think that it's most people, to be honest.
Most people aren't doing what?
Most young people.
Aren't like posting crazy shit online?
Yeah, I don't think that they ever have been. I think that the ones that do just get them more attention.
Or gravitate towards each other.
That too. I think that most young people now probably post less than they did when we were young.
Could this be generational?
What do you mean?
Like, young people right now aren't posting the way that, like, I did when I was younger?
That is what I said.
Well, I guess, okay, I just want to clarify what I was saying. Where I wasn't saying that, I feel like I was saying that when you're younger or something, you're more likely to post something stupid.
Yeah.
And that fucks people over sometimes, but it also makes funny stuff happen. But I guess what I was talking about is, like, when you get a bunch of people together to film, like, a really crappy short film together.
Yeah.
Like, that's, like, what I meant. I didn't mean that, like, the only good stuff online is made by young people. That's not true at all. Not even remotely true.
No, I know. That makes sense. That makes sense what you're saying.
Like, me and my friends sometimes would make, like, a green screened, like, short film that's like an action... Like, we made, like, an action movie one time with a green screen.
That's cool.
That was just terrible, but it was terrible on purpose. But I feel like a lot of people with jobs and shit and like real life responsibilities wouldn't do that. Because they don't want... that's what I was saying, that, like, adults with regular, with high pressure jobs, or they're scared of people thinking, people at their office seeing it or something.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I meant.
That's probably true. Probably depends what field you're in, too. Like, if you're in an industry where there's a lot of people that are artists, or, like, I don't know, maybe you're somewhere where people aren't, like, looking you up individually, you work for a company, so it's not a big deal. Like, maybe that's fine. But, yeah, I think that does tend to make people less likely to do that kind of stuff. I also think people in general, like, even when I was a kid, I remember people, like, not wanting to participate in things like that because they didn't want people to judge them, or, like, I don't want my friends to see it or something like that. So I think you kind of have to find a rare kind of person anyway to participate in those things. If you
Want to be somebody that's making wacky media to put online.
Yeah.
Which isn't really anybody at all. So, another thing, unless you have more to share on that specific topic, is this is a buzzer beater episode, as they say. We're recording it right at the last minute, and then immediately going on a mini hiatus. Thoughts?
Thoughts?
Your thoughts?
On that?
So it's a little bit hard. We're pushing to get to get this episode done. And it's a little hard to finish.
No, it isn't. Everything is...
Well, we're just talking, we're like, it's like, I don't know.
Everything is fine. I just was a little mad at you because you called me old.
I would never call you old, and I don't think old is bad. I think old people are great. And I think, honestly, I'll fucking say it, most of the best art in the world is not made by young people. I think old people and middle-aged people make the best art that you can consume, usually.
I agree with that. But
I feel like I was saying that...
No, that wasn't really why I was mad at you. I know what you were saying.
All right.
I also wasn't, like, mad at you, really. I just didn't like what you were saying because I didn't know... Like, I understand your overarching point. I just didn't agree with the idea that all young people feel free to post whatever they want online, because I think that, like, for me, I've always been worried about my reputation because of, like, needing to have a good job. So I didn't resonate with that, but still felt like I was a pretty out-of-the-box creative young person, and still am right now, even though I have a job like that. So I was disagreeing with you, and I was going to elaborate on that, but then we kind of... Like, I was confused and irritated, and I was a little more sharp than I meant to be. And I did not mean to blame you for that, because I wasn't actually mad at you. I was just disagreeing.
You didn't do anything wrong. Plus, it's late, and we don't want to be really doing this right now, because there's better things we could be doing, like relaxing.
No, I don't... Well, I wouldn't get to do that when we go home, so we have to pack. But no, I wasn't... I don't know. I listened to it again, and I felt like I sounded angry, and I wasn't angry at you.
No, you're amazing, and I love you, and everyone loves you, and you're amazing, and you didn't do anything wrong.
No. I'm not fishing for compliments. I really...
You don't have to be fishing for compliments to get them. I give you compliments without you ever fishing. I don't want you to... What? I love you.
Wait, we forgot to get snacks.
Oh, shit. What snacks did you want to get? I didn't know. Oh, from Walmart.
Yeah.
Because we were just there.
Fuck.
Oh.
I was gonna get a treat and I didn't because they closed and I got stressed out.
Oh, sorry about that.
I'm so stressed out. We're going to Iceland.
We're going to Iceland and it's really stressful.
It's really fun to have 3 back-to-back vacations in a row, and it's not fun. It's actually really stressful.
Yeah,
really stressed out about it.
That's true. Well, fuck it. We're going to Iceland. We planned this trip in January. And I gotta say, you want to know my 2 biggest concerns?
What?
I'm concerned that it's going to be dangerous, expensive, and crazy, and like we're going to be overwhelmed and not have that much fun because it's going to be stressful. Mm-hmm. That's my worry number 1.
Okay.
Worry number 2 is that it's going to be just fucking boring.
Am I going there?
No.
Why are you scared?
It's a cemetery at night. One, that's illegal.
What? It has
You-
an open gate.
You can't drive around cemeteries at nighttime.
Oh.
So a cop would probably just would just materialize like out of thin air and arrest us. Not really, but whatever.
How would he arrest us if you're not allowed to drive in the cemetery at night?
Yeah, because he's not either.
No, I actually would rather like literally do anything else than drive in a cemetery at nighttime. That's very scary.
Yeah. So why did you just impulsively tell me to do that?
Because I wanted you to go, no, I'm scared. No, I'm scared.
So you could look like a cool badass, and
Yeah.
I would look like a little baby.
Yeah.
So I guess yes. Those are my two biggest anxieties.
Wait, what was number 2?
That it's gonna be boring and not be fun, and I'm gonna just want to go home the whole time.
Yeah, I'm nervous about both those things too.
Like that, I'll just be like, wow, fucking, this is another ice waterfall. Wow, oh wow, a glacier floating through the Arctic Ocean.
You're not allowed
fucking
to
lame.
think that. Because for a whole year almost, we've been like, wow, I can't wait to go to Iceland. It's gonna be so cool. We're in Iceland. This is us in Iceland. And then I'm scared we're gonna go and be like, wow, wow.
Wow, look at that little shop in the middle of a cozy little city with neighborhoods and expensive coffee.
We won't feel like that though. We've never ever felt like that traveling anywhere.
I know for a fact that I'm gonna be upset about whatever the coffee situation is in Iceland. I just know it because, you know, I'm a idiot lower life form American, and I like to drink crappy mud water. I'm not like,
yeah, there's no Dunkin' Donuts
yeah, that's all I want. I just want a fucking shitty iced coffee with microplastics and fucking IFOs or whatever the fuck.
PFOs.
Yeah, PFOs. I want to drink poison water coffee, not like expensive tiny cups of European espresso.
Oh, I forgot to tell you, when me and my friend went to Canada this weekend, we just drove there for like a day, and we stayed in a hotel called Hotel Espresso, and in the morning when we checked out, he gave us free espressos.
That's awesome.
It was really cute.
See, I want to clarify. I do like espresso, but not like if I'm like trying to like wake up and like, oh, it's like the beginning of the day, let's like go out and have fun. Like I need a nice coffee to accompany me on that fun morning excursion.
There's a cafe in the hostel.
Right, but a cafe outside of America is not going to have just like iced coffee in
Just
a
like
plastic
total
cup
piece
to
of
go.
shit coffee.
Yeah, like they're just not. They're going to have like something else. Like there's whole entire giant parts of America where you can't even get almond milk.
I think that the almond milk situation though will be fine. I have faith that they will have milk alternatives in Iceland.
Isn't it crazy that like almond milk is like one of those things that people say is like, and this is definitely true, I've heard it many times, that like almond milk is like environmentally like disastrous. It's like really bad for the climate and like the earth to produce almond milk. Did you know that?
I didn't know that. What's
Yeah.
wrong with it?
Well, it just apparently I mean, obviously take this with a grain of salt and whatever, but like,
Is it hard to produce?
yeah, apparently they have to use like thousands of gallons of like fresh water just to produce like a little bit of almond milk or something.
Oh.
I don't know. It's like something like that where apparently people say it's like a massive waste of water to create it and manufacture it.
Is oat milk the suggested alternative? Or is that also?
Yeah, I think that might be the case actually. I think oat milk is like the galaxy brain woke climate change version, and almond milk is the idiot liberal version.
I think that almond milk sucks.
I think I only drink it because out of familiarity, and I'm also really scared that if I order oat milk, the person
We'll just give you milk.
no, that they'll think I said whole milk. And then I'll accidentally drink whole milk, so that's like kind of an irrational fear I have.
That isn't that irrational. That kind of
Because I have to be like oat milk, oat, instead of like, because I feel like they just threw the drive-through here.
Oat milk.
O milk.
Yeah, I've actually had that happen to me before.
Yeah, so that's like another reason why.
That makes sense. Almond is kind of hard to mistake for something else.
Right, you're not gonna be like almond. Oh, I'll give them skim milk.
You might. You never know, Dunks. Yeah,
And then
my
when you're-
favorite is
okay.
when someone knows exactly what you said, but they're like, fuck you, vegan, and they just give you cheese for no reason.
You fucking loser. Yeah. You know what I had the other day?
What?
Speaking of cheese, because I just said fuck it and just ate some cheese without any dietary supplementing. I just sent it. But I had a Mr. Beast burger.
Ew. What?
You know Mr. Beast, Ghost Kitchen, Mr. Beast burger?
Yeah.
I had one.
From where?
A Mr. Beast. Don't worry about the details. But I got Mr. Beast burger.
What?
And it was just fucking disgusting.
It sounds disgusting.
It was like literally, it was exactly like imagine if you bought like a frozen food burger, like, oh, it's a cheeseburger frozen food meal thing, comes with 6 cheeseburgers, and like each burger is in a little cellophane baggie, and then you microwave it.
Don't worry about the details. Where did you get a Mr. Beast
I got
burger?
it from a criminal enterprise in an alleyway with a Russian gang, and the lead singer of Slaughter to Prevail was there.
What is that?
Don't worry about it. I'm just fucking around. All I'm saying is Mr. Beast burger is fucking gross.
Whole I'm saying?
Literally, why are you being a scumbag right now?
No, I was riffing on the bit.
You're riffing.
I
the
heard
bit.
you say whole, not almond.
Are you tired?
No.
You need to go to bed.
I'm awake and alert.
Hey, did you want ice cream or anything? Is that what you were gonna get?
Sure.
Because maybe we could just go to like a 7-Eleven and get some ice cream. It's the same fucking ice cream. It's the same stuff. Except going to 7-Eleven makes you feel like you might get murdered while you're there.
Specifically the 7-Eleven here.
The 7-Eleven here is unfortunately pretty sketch.
The 7-Eleven here is so scary for me specifically because everybody in there looks like they're gonna kill you and they also know you.
And they all know me. I know everybody. I'm talking about my hometown, of course, of Rock Vegas.
Rock Vegas.
Rock Vegas, baby. But yeah, it's just some hometown murder nighttime vibes at the local 7-E.
Nice. I do want some gummy worms, but I shouldn't eat that because that'll make me feel like shit.
Ah, dude, yeah, gummy worms are one of those snacks that it's fucking amazing for the first like 1 or 2. And then it was like the biggest mistake of your entire day.
You know what I started doing recently that I think really shows how much I've grown up?
What?
I bought a bag of gummy worms. Like, by recently, I mean I did this once. But I bought a bag of gummy worms last week, and I only ate... Okay, so this was before the time I DoorDashed a bag of gummy worms and ate the whole thing. I got a bag of gummy worms, and I only ate like 3 of them, and then I just stuck it in like my bag and forgot about it. And then like a day later, I realized I had gummy worms, and I was like, fuck yeah, gummy worms. And I ate like 2 more of them, and I stuck it in my bag again. And then I forgot that I had them, and then I found them again, and I was like, fuck yeah. And every time it was like really exciting because there were still a few gummy worms left, but I never got to a point where I felt sick.
Yeah, that's restraint right there. Now that's moderation.
It really wasn't. It was multitasking and ADHD that just kept disappearing. I have no object permanence.
Wait, I think I have missed a fundamental part of the story because I have no idea what you're talking about.
They were going in and out of my backpack.
How?
I kept eating a few of them and putting them in my backpack, and then the next day happened, and then I found them again, and then I ate a few and put them in my backpack, and then the next day happened, and I found them again.
Oh, you know what's the worst feeling on your teeth in the world?
Ugh.
Have you ever left a bag of gummy worms in your car overnight in the winter, and then you try to eat them in the morning?
Yes, and they're hard.
Yeah, they're like really hard and
Yes.
cold.
Ugh, yeah.
Yeah, that's
thought
that
you
like
were
just
saying-
like viscerally fucked you up.
Yeah, I really hated that. Dude, my day list may be related. I got my day list today on Spotify, and it recommended stimming chaos music to me. And I was like, fuck it, yeah. But no, I thought you were gonna say gummy worms, you left them in your car in the summer, and I was like, ideal. That sounds really yummy. And then you said winter. I was like, ugh. Yeah. But no, even thinking about gummy worms too long makes me feel like I'm gonna fucking die. But they're really good.
Change of actually no, maybe I shouldn't change the subject.
Why? You want to keep talking about
I wanted to talk about something that I was thinking about songwriting.
Oh,
But you get mad at me when I talk about that.
that's not true.
Okay. I listened to so something that I've done like a million times over the years that's like what is like an obvious way for me to, in terms of like self-teaching and like having fun and learning new things.
Yeah.
Everybody knows, like I'll just look up an college art class lecture on YouTube and like watch a 2-hour lecture on that or whatever. Or like, let's watch like a recorded philosophy lecture. This is like normal nerd stuff. But for the first time in my fucking life, I was like, what if I look up a college songwriting music school lecture?
Interesting.
Like, what do those professors say about songwriting? And it like blew my mind apart, this video I watched. Where like the guy made one point that I've been thinking about since I watched it that like really put into perspective a lot of things that I think about songwriting.
What did he say?
He was saying that anything that you can ever possibly sing or write about is awesome at 10 p.m.
Huh.
Like if you're in a club, 10 p.m., music venue, basement show, whatever it is you're at, it's 10 o'clock at night, you're playing, everyone's got drinks, the lighting's cool, everyone's having fun, there's like attractive people, that like it's just a fucking fun vibe.
Yeah.
What you play will be sick to everybody there because of the vibe, not because of your music. And that's it. And the guy was basically saying that this is a trap that everybody will fall into as a songwriter and performer, because most people never get past that part.
Oh.
Because here's the thing, how many bands have you seen in basements or whatever the fuck that it was sick when you saw it, but then you like listen to their music later on Bandcamp or whatever, or SoundCloud or something, and you're like, you immediately turn it off because there's something wrong.
Yeah.
Like it's badly recorded, the frequency's wrong, or the song is just strange to you now. But when you see it live, you're like, this was fucking awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people take the wrong message away from that, which is like, you just got to play more shows. Fuck recording, fuck the internet. I'm gonna just play more shows, and that will make people like me. But the guy was basically saying that that's like a horrible takeaway, and like the actual battle with songwriting is making your music good at 7 a.m.
Yeah.
And I was like, that is the craziest fucking thing I've ever heard in my life.
That's pretty good advice. That's true.
Yeah, like if your music's good to somebody who's on their commute,
yeah,
they're like driving to work in the fucking rain on the highway, and they can listen to what you're making, then you've made good music.
That's true.
And I've been thinking about that because I'm like, that's a mistake. Because that's the thing, like if you're like just an alternative artist in some way, whether it's painting or whatever the fuck you're making, if you are alternative, you don't care about mainstream acceptance. You probably don't fully care about money. You just want to make sick shit for the people that like you.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, but that means that you are probably only ever going to be within the boundaries of what is accepted by an alternative audience.
Right.
Which actually is anything.
So...
And that's bad, right? That's like bad for creative growth and self-discipline and improving and becoming better.
Because there's no constructive criticism in that.
Like an art professor told me one time that I still think about this. He's like, these paintings that you're making are good because there's no reference challenging them.
Huh.
He's like, you're not going to get better at making these if you just aren't drawing with a reference ever. That means that like there's nothing like, oh, like you're drawing of a guy with a purple head turning into a balloon or with snakes for arms that looks like a child drew it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we going to do? Like academically critique this shitty like drawing on a piece of cardboard?
Yeah.
You didn't have a reference, so what are we doing? How can you improve if there's nothing challenging it? Sorry, that's like a lot to chew on, I guess.
So I agree with the first part of what you said. I don't know if I agree with that particular critique, because I feel like you can still critique something if it's not based in realism.
Yeah, that's true.
But I understand the point. It is true, you won't get better at realism unless you use real references. But I don't think that it's impossible to critique non-representational art.
You're right. That's true.
But I get what you're saying, and I think that it is true. I think the 7 a.m. thing is actually really, really interesting.
It's so profound, right?
Yeah.
Like, I've never really thought, like, I feel like I've maybe had an inkling, like, I wish people would want to listen to my music, in their real life.
I listen to your music in my real life.
Oh, thanks. And I think the few things that I figured out in the past year, a few things that have really changed everything for me.
Yeah.
Is using audio digital tools to make sure everything is quantized and in key. So there's no frequencies or anything happening that is offensive to the ears.
Did you say inky?
What did I say?
You said,
in key.
Oh, I thought you said inky, and I was like,
no, in
what
key.
Is an inky sound?
Like, I just something that I just can't believe I did for years was just allow audio recordings that I made to feature anything that was just completely off key.
Yeah.
Like a vocal line, a singing, like a guitar part. Like, how the fuck, what fucking planet was I living on that there could be a vocal part that's like, oh, ah, like just sounded like ass. What the fuck was I doing? It's literally like, I think I might have said this exact same thing recently on the podcast, but it's like the brow blindness trend on TikTok. It's like I had audio frequency blindness I just was because that's like the first step, right? Is like whether it's auto tune or perfect pitch or whatever the fuck, just making sure everything actually is in key. There you go. Like, making sure the rhythms aren't just totally fucked up and drifting from each other. There you go. And once those things are complete, now you can actually try to make things that people like.
Yeah.
Because if you're not doing that, if you can't even do that, you're never going to make anything that anybody likes. Except for weird people that only like crappy stuff that nobody listens to. Like, there are people out there that want to listen, like, have you ever heard of that? I forget the guy's name, but this guy that, like, his whole life's work was recording the most rare songs that ever could exist.
Yeah.
Like, recorded, like, a...
I think... Who showed me that?
I don't know, like...
Was it you?
I don't know.
The one that's, like, a song that goes into a Western with, like... I think Noah showed us that.
That was Noah, but that isn't what I'm talking about. That guy someone who tried to make the worst song in the universe. I was saying, like, there's this guy who spent his entire life documenting folk songs, but he would, like, record, like, a lullaby from, like, a Congolese grandma in the countryside of Africa.
You've told me about this.
Like, things like that, or, like, a Russian drinking song from Serbia.
Like, preserving folk music.
Yeah, like, if you want to impress those people that like that shit, you're good. You never have to be clean again. Right? Like, people... Yeah. Or people that, like... I don't know. Like, you know, if you're only writing for an insanely niche underground audio taste, then you never have to push past any of that. But it's like, what are we doing? You know?
I guess it depends what you're doing.
I want to make money. I want to make great stuff, and I want people to like me. That's what I want out of life.
So you should be in key.
I want lots of fucking money and lots of friends and have an awesome, easy life that's fun. That's what I want.
Don't we all?
Of course. Don't we all is absolutely fucking right. So.
Well, I guess some of us don't, but whatever.
Yeah. And you know what's... Yeah, go ahead.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, and it's like, as I learn these things about audio engineering, like, as I progress a little bit further into that realm and learn more about that, I'm even starting to realize things about my current setup that are actually really bad.
Really?
Like, my mic, no matter how hard I tried, the mic that I record everything with sounds bad to me now.
Uh-oh.
Like, it's starting to sound distorted in subtle ways that I never noticed before.
You're on a slippery slope.
I really am.
You're on the audio engineer slope.
Like, I don't know if I can use this. Like, it's like, it has this extremely, almost imperceptible distortion. Like, it just sounds a little bit... Like, it's like...
Aren't these the things that, like, all of your, like, music friends have said to you forever? And you're just like, I don't know why they think that.
You guys are fucking idiots.
Yeah, fuck
Shut
them.
the fuck up,
audiophile,
dumbass, nitpicky, fucking loser.
They've been saying it for like years.
Yeah, but you gotta...
Annual shout out to Trevor.
Shout out to Trevor. No, Trevor isn't one of those people. Trevor is a go-getter. Shout out to Trevor.
Yeah, but... Well, yes, but he also has given you feedback on...
Has he? I don't even know. About mic quality and shit like that, maybe. That's possible.
I feel like he knows a lot about that stuff. I don't
Sure,
know.
yeah,
I don't
definitely.
really know anything about this, so maybe not, but I feel like he gives you feedback on equipment and stuff sometimes, and you're like, I'm okay with GarageBand.
Oh, yeah.
Haven't you guys, like, disagreed about that before?
Do you want to hear something really stupid that I found out for myself? Like, I'm stupid for this.
Are you... What?
So, GarageBand.
Okay.
Entry-level, crappy program. It's like iMovie. Like, the worst thing you could use.
Yeah.
There's another program that's, like, professional grade that it wouldn't be weird if a professional studio artist, engineer is using this, called Logic Pro.
Yeah.
That is owned by Apple.
Mm-hmm.
And is
It's owned by Apple.
it's the professional grade GarageBand.
Okay.
It has all of the same loops, same feature, same colors, same tool. Literally, it's the exact same thing. Aesthetically, functionally, everything about it's the same, except it's a professional version of GarageBand. So I could have just used that.
Did you just learn this?
I learned it like a couple months ago. Because I'd see people using it in videos, and I'd be like, is that guy using GarageBand to make? And I'm like, oh, Logic. Oh, okay. It looks the same. Interesting. But it's the same program apparently.
I mean, that is pretty insane though. Like, you would think that if it's the same company and it's basically the same program, that it would be the same program with add-ons or something. Not that they just like make another version.
Well, I think GarageBand it's the free version. Well,
so GarageBand is like the demo?
It's like the demo of Logic Pro, yeah.
You've been playing in the demo this whole time?
Well, I've been using fucking GarageBand since I was like 10.
Yeah, but you were 10 at the time.
But the reason that I use it is because I know how to use it better. Like, I know how to use it. Like, it's like
just kidding.
I can use it as fluently as I fucking use my phone.
I learned this when you told it to me just now. I'm just
Right,
glad
I know.
Okay.
But like that's the reason. Like, I'm not using it because I'm just a fucking idiot or because I think it's awesome. It's like literally just expedience. Like, I just can use it very, very fast without thinking, and that's why I use it.
It is insanely frustrating to be trying to learn how to make a sound or to do something that comes very naturally, like with your mouth or with an instrument in real life, on a program you don't know how to use. Like, how to use that interface. Like, I feel like I kind of like have barely started playing around in GarageBand, and even that is like a new realm to me, so it's been a little difficult to kind of do that, because like in real life I can just go and I can't do that on GarageBand for some reason. It's like very difficult to understand for me because I just started using it. But with drawing tools and stuff, I feel like I have that experience where I can draw very, very easily, and I understand things like line weight and pressure and what tools I should be using to get certain effects and whatever, and that's just like easy. They just have a bag of art supplies, can't bang it out right in front of me, and it's fine. But if I'm using a tablet or like a digital drawing program that I haven't used before, suddenly the skills that I have are impeded by the interface. Like, you have to learn the tech to be able to access the skill set you already have in your head.
Yeah.
Which is very frustrating, especially if you're trying to get an idea out quickly.
Yeah, and with with audio recording, what's really interesting about that too, like,
What's it called?
the way I've been thinking about it is that there's two approaches you can take to creating just like audio-based and art or music or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Where there's the digital, like, what am I trying to say? Like, there's action movies, fantasy movies, horror movies, whatever it is, that are using all practical effects. Like, they made a mannequin head, filled it with fake blood, and actually exploded it and filmed it all.
I want to do that. That's so cool.
Like, there's that, and then there's movies that are incorporating CGI and After Effects and all kinds of digital this and that to create a actually much more appealing, realistic, and crazy and cheaper version of the guy's head exploding.
Yeah.
And like, that's exactly what music production is to me, where you can record things and try to actually literally with your human body and human real tools create the sounds and effects that you're trying to do, or you can create even better ones digitally.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that's just pretty fucking crazy. Like, it fucking blows my fucking mind that all of the thousands and thousands of hours and terabytes of classic country and folk and pop and whatever from the 20th century, way before digital recording existed, just the infinite recordings of people with perfect pitch and perfect time. Like, how the fuck does any of that exist? Like, there is so few people that can just sing perfectly in key in a way that they can, like, good enough so that they can actually be recording music.
Could it have been doctored then?
No, I don't think they could do pitch correction analog in, like, the 70s. If they could do that, that's some shit that I've never even heard of.
You just had to be on point?
Literally, yeah, you just had to be that fucking good. Like, there was no just fixing it, like just snapping something to a sonic grid.
Yeah.
It just didn't fucking exist. And it's just like, that's pretty, like, if you are listening to a song on fucking Spotify or on the radio, and it, I don't give a fuck what song it is. Like, just name a fucking song and I guarantee you it's using some element of pitch correction.
Yeah.
If it's contemporary, you know? Sabrina Carpenter, I guarantee she's using fucking auto tune or pitch correction to some degree.
Little sucker.
I'm sure she's an amazing singer, but the digital effects make her 100 times better.
Yeah.
And you know what? People can even do it live too. Like, I learned about something recently called a vocal box, which is literally just a guitar pedal that plugs into the mic, where you can program auto tune, reverb, all kinds of vocal effects directly into your mic and control it on stage.
Wow, that's
so that you can have pitch correction live.
That's sick.
And yeah, like, what the fuck, right? Like, we're living in the future. Like, there's no fucking reason why every single element of music needs to be all real practical effects.
Yeah.
Like, why can't you have a gigantic, amazing, crazy fucking sound? Like, and you know, if you have an infinite budget, you can, like, hire a local fucking choir to sing behind you, have a pit band, a full orchestra, 3 drummers, fucking 8 guitars. You know, sure, you can fucking do that if you're really, you know, if you just got infinite money. But if you don't, and you're a normal fucking person that's, like, you know, you, like, work at Dunkin' Donuts and make music on the side, you gotta go digital. You gotta just, I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just sick of this purist bullshit.
It's interesting too, because I feel like there are very few people nowadays who are purists about practical effects. Like, maybe in specific niches, like horror or sci-fi or something, people prefer that for, like, certain things.
Fantasy, yeah, you're right.
But most of the time, like, even in a film that's a fantasy film or something like that, like, nobody wants the fucking, like, shot of the spaceship going through space to be practical effects.
Yeah,
like, there's some things that are just gonna look like shit, and people agree on that. And because that's been around for a long time, and, I mean, I don't know that, like, audio engineering has been... Actually, it probably is, like, a kind of a later invention than visual effects in, like, movies and stuff. But...
That's an interesting question. I don't know.
I think it probably is, because there were some digital effects earlier for movies, I think.
I guess it depends on what you consider digital effects, but
I was going to say, that's a rabbit hole. But anyway, I think that generally people accept the idea that being a practical effects person is kind of like an artsy, annoying, snobbish niche. Like, it's not really everybody. But it is very common to be kind of a snob about auto-tune, or to be like, oh, you can tell they're lip syncing or whatever. But it actually, once you get past the hindrance we were talking about before, of, like, learning a new program and, like, learning how to adapt your technical skills to that skill set, for somebody that's, like, a regular person that doesn't have a big budget, like, that actually would be able to unlock so many different kinds of music that you wouldn't be able to do on your own and within your own budget normally, right?
Right. And as fucking artists, what do you want out of this world? Do you want art making to be just permanently gatekept to those who can access education? Or do you want art to be accessible to anybody who feels compelled to express themselves?
Right.
So fuck you if you're like, oh, like, this record sucks, like, it's too blah blah blah, I only listen to stuff that's made with real instruments recorded directly to a fucking vinyl record carving machine. Like, fuck you. Fuck that shit. I mean, that stuff's great. Like, there's some fucking, some of the best records in the world. They're full analog, no digital effects, live recorded. That shit's great. But, like, I don't fucking have, like, I don't fucking have that shit.
Yeah.
So what am I supposed to do? Just go fuck myself and not make anything?
Yeah. Right?
Are people not allowed to paint unless they've been trained by a Renaissance Italian master for 20 years? Like, what the fuck are we doing?
Well, I think also, like, another equivalent would be, like, if you made every, like, film project or any, like, TikTok content or anything you made, everything in it had to be 100% real. With no, like, AI, no CGI, no filters, no effects, no nothing. No editing.
And the only reason they think that people think that, is because they can't recognize editing or digital effects the way they think they can. You know what I mean? Like, people, you can, like, their digital effects are like are fucking like parasitic germs. Like, they're everywhere and you just don't know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In photography, in video, in music, in everything.
But I'm saying, like, if somebody made a TikTok of a random person, like, with fire feet that was shooting off into the sky like a rocket, you would watch that and go, oh, haha. You wouldn't watch it and be like, this fucking loser, that wasn't real. They didn't get real pyrotechnics. Like, I only watch practical effect TikToks.
That's true, yeah.
You know what I mean? And, like, I know it's absurd because they were talking about, like, online content. But if that was, like, a real movie that you watched, you wouldn't be sitting there, like, fucking pretending that you, like, wanted it to be all actual fire. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. There's probably, like, less absurd examples than
like,
that. But
if there was a way for live bands to have pyrotechnics that had no fire, there was no real fire, no heat, no fuel, absolutely nothing igniting, but it looked exactly like pyrotechnic. It looked exactly like the fucking real thing, seamlessly. A focus group of experts couldn't tell it apart. They would only ever use that forever.
yeah,
They would never, it would be cheaper, easier, faster, and they would never use pyrotechnics again. Because that would be, and they would never have to involve a fire marshal or get permit. Like, everything would change if they could do that.
And you know what else it would mean that is probably would impact the most people too, is that it would mean that average people could have pyrotechnics at, like, a random open mic.
And that would be a fucking awesome world.
Yeah.
That would be fucking awesome. Like, I was looking at a fucking live video of fucking Fall Out Boy, of all people, playing My Songs Know What You Did in the Dark from a recent concert. And fucking Pete Wentz had, like, a flamethrower attached to the headstock of his fucking bass. With pyrotechnic, just flames shooting out of it. The headstock of his bass.
That's crazy.
That's cool and all, but can you imagine if that was cheap, safe, and completely invisibly blended?
Yeah.
Like, you just didn't. Yeah, I don't know. I'm being redundant now, but
No, you're right though. I think that I don't want to phrase this in a way where, like, people should blah blah blah, because I feel like I do that all the time and I don't like talking like that. But I do think that it's really good when people do take advantage of accessible experimental art forms, even if that means embracing development of tech. Like, I don't think tech is your enemy all the time.
Yeah, you're right about that. I think that's, like, a reason why, like VR art didn't take off. That's why it didn't, is because
It also kind of sucks dick.
right. But if every single fucking person had instant, easy, free access to VR headsets, we'd all be doing it. It'd be fun, but it was such an expensive buy-in just to even look at the shit these people were making.
And VR still sucks. It makes you car sick. It makes you, like, not feel good when you're using it. It doesn't really look real.
I almost feel bad for all these people that invested in metaverse stuff, because it's just not gonna fucking happen.
I think it's kind of funny.
It's just so stupid. These people just reinvented Club Penguin, and they thought it was gonna make them billions of dollars. It's, like, worse than Club Penguin, or like it's like RuneScape, just with a Oculus.
RuneScape was more fun even.
It would have been better if they actually had made it like a game like RuneScape instead of just like a shitty VR, like, chat room.
I'm glad that Metaverse didn't take off, because they inflated the property values in a video game. Like, they made it like a wasteland of, like, real estate, and then it failed.
That was so fucking funny. I forgot about that, where everyone was buying plots of land in the metaverse.
Like, what does that mean, dude?
So that's something in terms of analog and digital that maybe isn't actually a good replacement, is real property. I'm glad we didn't try to digitally homestead in the metaverse.
Oh my god, man.
Or something like that. That would have been a pretty bad hit.
You know how I said tech isn't always the enemy?
In that case, it really fucking was. People were like, we don't need money anymore. Let's invent our own money. Let's invent new money.
More money.
A different one.
Sunscreen. More sunscreen.
The amount of times we talked about that on the podcast, too.
The sunscreen thing?
No. The crypto metaverse.
If you understand the sunscreen joke, let me know.
I'm not even sure if I do.
I'm referencing a very niche Homestuck AMV.
Oh, okay, cool. Shout out to the
Shout out to the real ones.
What do you call Homestuck fandom members? Do they have a fandom name?
I think it was just Homestucks.
Homestuckians?
No, I think it was Homestucks. I don't totally remember, but I think it was Homestucks.
You're a fake fan.
No, I'm not.
I'm just kidding.
You know what I was thinking about recently that is like, it's a little sad, but it's also kind of cute? Mm-hmm. All of the media that I liked when I was a kid had homeschooled characters in it.
Who would have thunk? I wish there was more homeschool stuff, because like I think there's a big hunger for it, and maybe we'll see more of that in the next like decade or so, is like more media like that coming out. Because it is very like I don't know, it seems kind of rare, like just what do you think about that?
I think that Zoom school is a lot more common now. Like when I was homeschooling, some of the people that I was homeschooled with were in programs that would probably be considered by most people as alternative school now, where they had maybe anxiety or anger issues or behavioral problems or something, and their school worked out with their parents that they would homeschool a couple days a week and would go to school for like 3 days or something, or would go to some periods, not all of them. And they were in public school, like they went to classes, they were in the same class with their friends, but there were some things they just did at home on their own time, and they turned the homework in. And that was considered homeschooling when I was growing up, and was weird, but I don't think that that's that weird now. Like, there's a whole generation of kids that either went to college or went to high school or went to fucking middle school or elementary school online because of the pandemic, and the pandemic was almost 5 years ago now. Like, I think it's much more normal and culturally accepted, and if somebody says that they're homeschooled, it's not crazy. But that wasn't the case when I was a kid.
You know what I wonder if might happen in the future?
What?
I wonder if homeschooling might get a rebrand. Like, it might get a new name. Like, you know, sometimes shit like that, like, they just, like, everyone just, like, somehow collectively agrees to change the name to something less stigmatized. I wonder if that'll happen.
That could be.
That'd be so weird, wouldn't it? Maybe we should come up with some for next time.
People have tried to rebrand homeschooling a lot.
Like, I understand the idea of changing the way people think about it, and like, oh, like, I didn't even know it could be like this, that's cool, or something like that.
Yeah.
But changing it, like, really, so people don't even know it's the same thing. Like how they changed Mormons to LDS. Or, you know, or something like that.
Well, the thing about that, though, that I think is tough with homeschooling and why none of the rebrands have really super taken off, except for in niche subsets of what it is because there is no one unified front of that culture.
That's true, yeah.
Like, that's why people call it homeschooling, because that name was kind of given to it by outside people. Like, anybody who has their kids not in public school that are educating them at home, everyone's going to call them homeschooled. Even if they identify as, like, eclectic or unschooled or alternative or whatever, like, everyone's still going to call them a homeschooler. Because it's not... That's how everyone else, like, the default mindset would refer to someone who is not that. It's not that subculture as a unit saying, hi, we're members of this church, or we believe this thing, or we're this political party. It's like, it's all different philosophies mixed into one big umbrella. Like, there already are a bunch of alternative names for homeschooling that are people recontextualizing it, but that's also other people that splintered off that don't agree with each other.
It's a fucking big ball of wax, isn't it?
I mean, at the end of the day, it's kind of tough because it's parenting styles. Like, you can't really generalize those.
You're right about that. Damn, it seems like all at once the tiredness and the midnightness of this moment just hit me like a train. What is it?
So you don't care about what I was saying?
I
Just what
care.
you were saying?
I absolutely love what you were saying. You
I'm
were
sleepy
speaking
too.
such beautiful, amazing
I'm really
words.
tired.
You were being so articulate and cool.
And we don't have any gummy worms. You were being articulate and cool. I liked all the stuff you said.
Oh, thanks. I love you.
I love you too. We should have gone to bed early.
Yeah, sorry. You're going to have to pack in the morning.
How am I going to pack in the morning? I have work.
Oh, shit. I didn't realize that. You work from home?
Yeah.
Oh, that's convenient.
Fuck.
All right, let's wrap this bitch up. I mean, sorry.
What the fuck?
I don't know why I got afraid of saying that.
You're not allowed to say bitch online.
It's fair enough, I guess.
I can say cunt and you can't. Haha.
Why can't I say cunt? Should I not say that on the Nah, it's fine. It's fine. All right, everybody. Boston Art Podcast.
You don't have to tell them every episode that that's who we are. They know already. And it's going to play an outro.
You know what would be so funny, Theo? If we recorded a new outro.
I really want to because ours are kind of cringe.
Where our outro was, thanks for listening to Boston Art Podcast. And then you came in and said, you don't have to say that every time.
That would be funny the first
And
time
that
it was
was
on
the
an episode.
outro?
And then all of our poor listeners would have to hear it every single time they listen to an episode about us.
I'm sure they skip it when it comes on.
Do you guys skip it?
I guarantee the people who listen to the whole episodes definitely skip it.
You don't think they're like in the studio with like paint and stuff on their hands and they can't touch their phone because
Well, how do they skip all the ads then?
they just get fucked?
Because that's true, they probably do get fucked.
We're just total pieces of shit that like ruin their listening experience by making them listen to horrible ads.
We're sorry about that, but honestly, if this ever like really takes off to a new level,
We don't want to miss our moment, man.
yeah, we'll be able to actually,
We
you
need
know,
those
pay our
pennies.
bills and feel really good about ourselves and stuff. So sorry. If we ever start making money from this podcast, we'll shut the ads off.
Why would we do that?
I'm saying if we were able to sustain by getting ads
We would need
from
to
other
keep the
sources,
ads.
not the baked in ads.
Oh, those ads?
Yeah, like if I don't know how it works. Maybe
If
we
you
get
get
both.
everyone you know to listen to our podcast, we might free you from the Spotify ads.
We'll free you.
We'll free you.
Anyway, all right, let's shut this shit off and then go back in the AC. All right. So for listeners listening Friday, there will be no episode the following Friday because we're taking a little break because we're on vacation. Thank you guys for listening. Love y'all. Any last words?
Any last words?
I've had something, but it left my brain immediately because I'm tired. Okay, good night.
Boston Art Podcast is an independent DIY production by Brian Huntress and Theodora Earthworms. The information contained in this episode represents the views and opinions of the original creators or our guests, and does not represent any institution, organization, or business. Find us on Instagram at Boston Art Podcast, and tune in for a new episode every Friday. Thank you for listening.